All right, welcome to our deep dive into global education systems.
Sounds exciting.
It is. There's so much to cover.
Definitely. And so many different approaches.
Exactly. It seems you're interested in learning about the best systems in the world, maybe thinking about studying abroad, or just curious about how different countries do things.
That's fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the approaches are so diverse. Some prioritize creativity, others are all about discipline. Some offer free tuition, others have those super prestigious, top-ranked universities.
Right. And it's not just about rankings either. It's about understanding the underlying philosophy.
Totally. What are they aiming for? What are their values when it comes to education?
Exactly.
So to kick things off, we're going to unpack the top 5, focusing on what makes each system unique and why they stand out.
That sounds like a plan.
All right, first up, we're heading to Finland. Now, this country is famous for its almost revolutionary approach to education.
Yeah, they kind of do things their own way.
They really do. They ditch standardized tests and homework, especially for younger kids, yet somehow consistently produce students who rank at the top globally.
It's amazing.
It really is. So what's the secret?
Well, a lot of people think they just let kids run wild. But there's a real method to what they do.
Oh, there's definitely a strategy.
Early years are all about play-based learning. Think hands-on activities, exploration, encouraging curiosity. It's about building a solid foundation and fostering a love for learning.
Rather than just rote memorization and testing.
Exactly. They're playing the long game, nurturing creativity, problem-solving, a genuine joy for learning. And that leads to high academic achievement later on.
It's really interesting how that works.
And another key factor is the emphasis on highly qualified educators.
Yeah, their teachers are amazing.
To become a teacher in Finland, you need a master's degree. That's pretty much unheard of in most countries.
Wow, a master's. That's a serious commitment.
It is. It shows how much they value the teaching profession.
Makes sense.
And it's not just about qualifications either.
Right? There's more to it than that.
Finnish teachers have a lot of freedom. They design their own teaching methods and tailor their approach to meet the needs of each student.
So it's a system that really values teachers and trusts their expertise.
Precisely. They see teachers as facilitators of learning, not just deliverers of information.
I like that.
This high level of trust and autonomy creates a more dynamic and engaging learning environment for students.
And with smaller class sizes, teachers can give more individualized attention, right?
Definitely. It all creates a much lower stress atmosphere, which is probably a welcome relief for both teachers and students.
Oh, for sure, especially compared to some of the more high-pressure systems out there.
It challenges the assumption that more hours in the classroom and piles of homework equals better results.
Quality over quantity. Okay, next up we're heading over to Canada, a country known for its welcoming and diverse higher education scene.
Oh, Canada! They've got some world-renowned universities.
For sure. You've probably heard of the University of Toronto, McGill, or UBC, right?
Absolutely, and those consistently rank among the top in the world.
But it's not just about the rankings, is it?
No, not at all.
What else sets Canada apart?
I'd say it's the multicultural environment. It's like a mini United Nations.
Wow. Students from all over the world.
Yeah, bringing their unique perspectives to the learning process.
That sounds incredible. I bet that creates some really dynamic discussions.
It does, and it exposes students to different ways of thinking. It's like a built-in global citizenship program.
So it's not just enriching personally, it's valuable professionally as well, right?
You got it. Employers want graduates who are culturally aware, adaptable, able to work effectively in global teams. So that international exposure you get in Canada, that's a serious asset.
It's a great point. And let's not forget the affordability factor. Compared to the US or the UK, Canadian universities are more budget-friendly.
Absolutely, and they have a good scholarship system too.
So that makes quality higher education even more accessible.
Right.
All right, time to turn me eastward. Next up, we're heading to Japan, a country known for its rigorous, technologically advanced approach to education. I hear their students consistently dominate in math and science.
They do. It's impressive.
So what's behind that success?
Well, it's interesting how cultural values shape education. In Japan, there's a huge emphasis on discipline, respect, and hard work. It's ingrained from a young age.
And that translates into a strong work ethic and dedication to academics.
Exactly. They believe that effort is just as important as natural ability. And this belief is reflected in everything from classroom etiquette to exam preparation.
They're serious about their studies.
Yeah, but it's not all about tradition, though. Japan is also a pioneer when it comes to technology in the classroom. They're always pushing boundaries.
Using tech to enhance the learning experience.
Right. Think AI-powered learning, robots assisting teachers, even virtual reality field trips. Japan is not afraid to experiment.
Wow. It's like they're stepping into the future of education.
It is, and they're preparing students for a future that's driven by innovation.
Okay, hold on to your hats because we're about to land in what some people call a tuition-free paradise.
Germany.
Germany.
A country that truly believes in making education accessible to all. No tuition fees, not just for domestic students, but for international students as well.
I've heard so many great things about their universities.
And for good reason. Imagine, no tuition fees.
That's incredible. But they're not just giving it away, right? They're known for high-quality education, especially in STEM fields.
You're absolutely right. Germany's a powerhouse when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Their universities are top-ranked in these areas.
It makes sense that they're so strong in those areas.
They also have a long tradition of research and innovation, so students really benefit from that environment.
And I've heard about this unique system they have called dual education.
Ah, yes, dual education. It's like a hybrid between academic study and practical work experience.
So it's not just theoretical, it's hands-on too.
Exactly. Let's say you're interested in engineering. You might spend part of your week in a classroom and the other part working in a real engineering firm.
So you graduate with practical skills and industry connections.
Exactly. It's a system that bridges the gap between theory and practice, making graduates highly sought after.
No wonder German graduates are in such high demand.
It's a smart system.
Okay, last stop for this leg of our global education tour is South Korea.
Ah, South Korea.
Now, this is a country known for its highly demanding and competitive education system.
It's intense. Academic achievement is deeply valued, almost to an extreme sometimes.
I can imagine.
Students face immense pressure to excel, often spending 12 or more hours a day studying.
12 hours. That's a stark contrast to Finland's more relaxed approach.
It is, but it seems to be working for them. They consistently rank high in global assessments, particularly in reading, math, and science.
So there's definitely a trade-off there.
Right. There's a growing debate about the potential downsides of such a high-pressure environment, concerns about student well-being, burnout, and lack of focus on other important skills.
Like creativity and critical thinking.
Exactly. It makes you think about the balance. Is it worth sacrificing well-being for high test scores and rankings?
It's a tough question.
There's no easy answer. It's likely that the ideal approach is somewhere in between these extremes.
Finding that sweet spot.
A system that balances academic rigor with well-being, fostering high achievers but also well-rounded individuals who are equipped for the challenges of the 21st century.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about more than just test scores.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we've covered a lot of ground here. From Finland's relaxed approach to South Korea's intensity, it's fascinating to see such different approaches to education. It really highlights how different cultures view learning.
Yeah. It's all about those different philosophies and what they value.
And it's not just about the systems themselves, it's about the cultural context too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Culture plays a huge role. It shapes those underlying values.
Okay, so for our next stop on this global education tour, we're heading to a country with a long and prestigious history of education, the United Kingdom.
Ah, the UK. They've got those iconic institutions, Oxford, Cambridge, places that are practically synonymous with academic excellence.
Yeah, like stepping back in time with those centuries-old traditions.
Definitely, but beyond those elite universities, what about the overall system?
Yeah, what's it like for the average student in the UK?
One thing that stands out is their focus on critical thinking.
So it's not just about memorizing facts.
Nope. They want students to analyze information, question assumptions, develop their own arguments. It's about fostering intellectual independence.
So it's about more than just getting good grades. It's about developing those higher-level thinking skills.
Exactly. Those are valuable no matter what field you go into.
I can see that. And it seemed like they also care about developing well-rounded individuals, not just academic robots.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a big emphasis on character development, leadership skills, things like that.
And extracurricular activities, right?
Oh, yeah. It's about nurturing the whole person, not just their academic abilities.
So it's a holistic approach.
You could say that they want to prepare students for life, not just exams.
That makes sense. But, it's not all about those fancy universities, right?
Right. Not everyone goes down that path.
What about those who don't go the traditional academic route?
Well, the UK also has a great network of secondary schools and colleges. They offer a range of pathways for students.
So there are options.
Oh, yeah. They have excellent vocational training programs, apprenticeships, pathways that lead directly into the workforce.
So it's about catering to diverse interests, recognizing that success doesn't always have to look the same.
Exactly. It's about equipping individuals with the skills they need to thrive no matter what path they choose.
All right, let's hop across the pond now to the United States.
The U.S.
A country known for having this massive and kind of overwhelming higher education landscape. You've got everything from small liberal arts colleges to those massive research universities.
It's true. The U.S. system is all about choice and specialization.
So many options.
Students have incredible freedom to choose their majors, tailor their courses, really dive deep into their passions.
I can imagine that all that choice could be pretty daunting.
Oh, for sure. Especially for someone trying to figure out their next steps. Navigating the U.S. college application process can be a bit of a maze.
Especially for those top-tier schools.
Definitely, but all those options allow for a high degree of personalization. It's about finding the right fit.
And we can't talk about the U.S. without mentioning their reputation for research, right?
Absolutely. The U.S. is a global leader in research and development. Universities play a big role in that.
Yeah, those cutting-edge facilities and opportunities to work with top experts.
It's a really stimulating environment for fostering curiosity and pushing boundaries.
Okay, next up we're heading down under to Australia. Besides the amazing landscapes and laid-back lifestyle, I hear they're making waves with their education system.
They are. Australia has been investing heavily in education, and it's paying off.
What kind of changes have they made?
Well, their universities are climbing up those global rankings, and they're attracting more and more international students.
I bet that welcoming and multicultural environment is a big draw. Just like in Canada, plus you can't beat that amazing natural environment.
You can't. It's a dream for students interested in fields like environmental science, marine biology. They have so many unique ecosystems to study.
Yeah, and I've heard they're really big on hands-on learning and real-world experiences.
They are. They incorporate those into their programs as much as possible.
All right, our next stop takes us to a country known for its progressive thinking and innovative spirit, the Netherlands.
Ah, yes, the Dutch. Always thinking ahead.
So what's their approach to education like?
Well, the Dutch system is very student-centered. It's all about individual learning and personal development.
Sounds like they really value the individual.
They do. They want students to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, effective collaborators, basically preparing them for a world that's constantly changing.
Giving them those future-proof skills.
Exactly. And they have a reputation for encouraging creativity and innovation. It's not about fitting into existing systems, it's about shaping the future.
I like that. Building future change makers.
Exactly.
Okay, last stop on our global education journey, we're heading to Switzerland, a country famous for precision, efficiency, and chocolate.
Can't forget the chocolate.
But seriously, what's their education system like?
Well, it actually reflects those Swiss qualities quite well. They're all about high standards, a rigorous curriculum, and a practical approach.
So it's about getting down to business, getting things done.
You got it. They have a strong emphasis on vocational training, preparing students for specific careers.
So it's not all about the academic path.
Nope. They have this amazing apprenticeship system. Students get hands-on experience while also getting their education.
So they're learning and working at the same time.
Pretty much. It's a great way to bridge that gap between theory and practice.
That makes a lot of sense, especially in today's job market. Employers want graduates who are ready to hit the ground running.
It's about making sure that education is relevant and leads to tangible outcomes.
So we've journeyed across the globe, exploring these incredibly diverse approaches to education. We've seen everything from Finland's relaxed play-based learning to South Korea's intense academic pressure.
And Germany's commitment to accessible education. It's been an incredible journey.
It really has. And, despite their differences, all of these top-performing systems seem to share something in common.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
A belief in the power of education.
To make a difference.
Yeah, they see it as a way to shape individuals and societies.
It's about investing in the future.
Totally nurturing those skills that are essential for success in the 21st century.
Like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity.
Exactly. So as we've been exploring all these different systems, I'm curious, what's resonated with you the most?
That's a good question.
Were there any systems that surprised you?
Oh, definitely.
Or maybe challenged your assumptions about what education could be?
For sure. There are so many different ways to approach it.
And if you could design your ideal system, what would it look like? What would you borrow from the approaches we've explored?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
What factors would you prioritize?
Whether for yourself or for your kids? It's a really interesting thought experiment.
It is. Trying to find that balance between rigor and well-being, traditional knowledge, and those 21st century skills.
It's not easy.
Definitely a complex challenge. And it makes you wonder about the future of education. With technology evolving so rapidly, how will these systems adapt?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Will we see more personalized learning, driven by AI?
Maybe virtual and augmented reality will become the norm in classrooms.
Oh, imagine that.
It could create entirely new ways of learning.
It's pretty exciting to think about all the possibilities.
It
But no matter what the future holds, one thing's for sure. Learning is a lifelong journey.
That's the truth. It never stops.
So true. It's about constantly exploring, questioning, expanding our understanding of the world.
Always learning.
Absolutely. And maybe some of the insights from these top-performing systems will inspire you
to approach our own learning in new ways.
Exactly. So thank you for joining us on this deep dive into global education systems.
It's been a pleasure.
I hope you found it as fascinating as we did. Until next time, Keep those minds sharp and those curiosity fires burning.